I guess, whether we wanted to or not. We're live in downtown Newport, Arkansas. Sports Unleashed, Ben Black down there on that end, Hayden Schultz, David Black, and we thank everybody who joins us, and we'll certainly hope that we have a big audience tonight. Got a lot of things to cover tonight, guys, but welcome back. We haven't seen anybody in a couple of weeks. Welcome back, fellas.
Glad to be back, man.
And you, my friend?
Another Manic Monday.
We love doing it, don't we? We love doing this. I have several things I want to talk about tonight. We want to talk a little Greyhound football. We still have some of that left over. I don't think we've ever gotten in some Razorback stuff, some Sam Pittman stuff, Traylon Burks opting out of the bowl game coming up, a wedding coming up this weekend we might want to mention also. Oh, what about a wedding? Who's getting married?
I am.
Tell us about the big wedding. Tell us the wedding plans.
It's Saturday.
And it's just Saturday and you're getting married.
It's Saturday.
Got your tux in today?
Got it in.
Yes, sir. Going to try it on when you get home. Got a little brush back there on your top hat there, huh?
Yeah, I cleaned the neck up a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah.
Looking stylish, huh?
I said, let me get the Big Dave cut when I walked in there.
Whew, boy. Looks good, man. Looks good. Looks good. Well, congratulations to you and your lovely bride-to-be. I know it's going to be an exciting Saturday. January the 1st.
First.
Why January 1st?
That's the first day in January.
Don't ask me.
You're just going along for the ride?
5:30 Saturday.
5:30 Saturday. That's all you know, isn't
That's
it?
what I know.
Yes, sir.
Well, you've already learned a lot then. You're ready to get married.
Yeah.
Well, we quickly want to go to our Merchants and Planners Bank ad real quick. We always thank them for being one of our sponsors. Ben, you roll that footage real quick.
Merchants and Planners Bank was founded in 1946 by farmers and business owners because they needed a community bank that knew them and understood their business. A lot has changed since then, but Merchants and Planners Bank is still employee-owned and operated, and we're still committed to knowing and understanding the needs of every customer we serve. Great rates, fast turnarounds, and experienced local bankers ready to work for you. That's why you should choose Merchants and Planners Bank. Stop in any of our 12 locations or contact us at mnpbank.com.
I like how that guy says mnpbank.com. I like that.
That's pretty good, doesn't it?
M&P Insurance Services. Hey, tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on down there. If it's okay to talk a little bit about that? Is it okay to talk about that on this sports show?
Who cares?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the sports world.
Did a little podcast.
Yeah, tell us about the podcast.
Just something Nate's come up with is kind of a marketing thing that he wanted to do, and covering local basketball teams right now. Obviously, basketball season, so he's reached out to a bunch of coaches and just asked them and said, "Hey, if you want to mention a player or something about your team, and we would love that information if you just want to send it, weekly of something." You want said on this podcast, just trying to reach out to the community, I guess. It's mainly Woodruff, Jackson, White County, a little bit of Independence County. So, it's something that he's just kind of run with. I enjoy it. It's a lot like what I already do here.
Sit down talking sports.
Yeah, so
and covering high school sports. That's so important for the kids in the different areas, and we don't quite get out as much as what y'all's program is going to try to do. But I think it's an awesome deal to be able to get in different markets and talk about what those kids, like McCrory winning a state championship in football, and other schools. You talk about the schools in our conference as far as basketball goes, and y'all reached out to a lot of those folks, and in Tuckerman, of course, with the a great athletic program. But I think it's very good, and congratulations to who all's on the show.
Me, Donnie, and Nate.
You and Donnie Washam and Big Nate. Nate's the what's his name on the show? I listened to a little bit of
DJ Nate Dogg.
There you
DJ
go.
Nate Dogg.
So anyway, it's a podcast, and y'all do it, and then it plays where? Where does the podcast play?
It's on multiple places, but I would say Spotify would be the easiest to tell everybody, and I believe Apple Music now it's on there too.
Okay, all right.
It's just something, I guess, fun and exciting to do, and Nate's a businessman as far as what leads to different avenues, and not necessarily has to be insurance, but whatever can lead to different markets and different things open to further this. And kind of like opening the new branch in McCrory, and going to take off with that. Donnie's kind of running that show, and who knows, in 3 or 4 years you might have one in Batesville, might have one in Searcy, so that's how Nate rolls. He looks 10 years ahead. He doesn't look. He doesn't look like me. I look for the next day. I'm like, all right, tomorrow I got to do this and this.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Well, we want to talk about a couple of things. One of them, the Razorbacks in a big bowl game, who it's actually an early morning start on the day that you get married. So
is it an early morning?
Yeah, like 11 o'clock in the morning.
That's not early in the morning.
Well, it's an early morning start.
Is that early to you?
I mean, for a football
For
game.
a football game, it's very early.
Oh.
It's an
not a
early
7:30
start, and it happens to be a morning game. Would that be better?
That's better.
I think it's 11 o'clock, but anyway, it gives everybody a lot of time to watch the ball game, to watch the 4-hour ball game, and then make the drive over to Jonesboro to attend the wedding. Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess. But bowl game, here's what I want to talk about the bowl game. Arkansas and Penn State. Penn State's slight favorite. Bowl games in general is what I'm getting to. Opting out of players who might be drafted or are going to be drafted, kind of your thoughts, Hayden, on what do you think about a guy who says, I want to play with you all year, I'm healthy as I can be, I'd like not to play in the bowl game because I want to start training for the NFL draft and I don't want to get hurt. Your thoughts?
Mixed emotions, but at the same time, if I'm in that situation and I know I'm about to have a big payday, I mean, obviously, you go take the money when you get the opportunity to do, and you don't want to, go out there and hurt. As far as me, my personal decision, if I played for the Razorbacks, I mean, I think that I'd suit up and play every single game because that's the commitment that I made when I signed the dotted line. But I don't necessarily think it's necessarily a bad thing or something you should hold against a kid because he's protected his future. But at the same time, I see what people get mad at was saying, well, if you get hurt that game, then it just wasn't meant to be. It just so. No real feelings, no hatred, no joy for either or.
I'll say this. It's not on the kid, I don't think. I think if you're going to hold anybody accountable and question anything, you say, well, if this guy was under a contract, you said, sign on the dotted line, that's a commitment you made to the team. Well, if you had a financial commitment made to this team and they would pay you something for your financial commitment in your own contract, yeah, you need to play. But as long as this guy's not making any money and he has an opportunity to perfect or to perform his craft or talent and get paid for it, and this game could end his career, I say he has every right to.
Well, a couple of things. I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what both of you are saying, but they are getting paid somewhat. The argument has been, and I'm not arguing this side, the argument has been, well, we're paying for your college degree.
What's
and
it
let me
worth?
tell you, and let me, you got to say, what is that college degree worth? To be a college athlete, it's not like, you're in class. If you take 15 hours, you're in class for 15 hours. Mm-hmm. You're in football, some type of football, whether it's a study hall, early morning weight training, afternoon practice, for 10 hours a day. Not a week, but probably 10 hours a day. You have to make a huge time commitment. Yes, they can make money by getting their college paid for. Yes, they can make money on their images or their likeness now.
That's not necessarily the school.
No, that's not the school at all.
That's just him performing and doing the things that he does. So,
I agree with that, and I'm not saying that is right or wrong or indifferent. But there are some avenues that these kids get paid. But they work extremely, extremely hard. Being a college athlete, not just football players, but you can be a golfer. You can be a basketball player, a track star, and they spend literally more hours than all of us work in a week perfecting their craft and preparing for those times. And then the big payday is what they you take Treylon Burks. The best receiver we have, one of the best in the country, he opted out to, and some people say, well, you've given us several years. We gave you money for a scholarship, and now you're not going to play. And here's my thoughts just on I think each individual case is different. Treylon Burks, he got hurt twice in the last game that he played.
He's not 100%.
He's not Saturday. He's not ready to play.
Right.
He's not ready. So I think every case different. I think every case has its own merits. And if they have demerits to it, so be it. That's what people might think. But I think a guy like Traylon Burks, you say, what do you have to gain when you're trying to get healthy enough to get to these combines, and if you go play, again, your shoulders hurt, and that could really, really, really cost him. So,
he played every game when we won two games.
Right, absolutely he did.
Why did he play then?
Absolutely he did. Absolutely he did. But
it'd be hard for me to suit up knowing I was about to go out there and get beat.
Hard.
Well, it's an interesting subject about the opt-outs, and there are no correct answers. But I'm sure everybody's got an opinion on what they think, should happen with these opt-outs. But I don't see anything wrong with it. I really don't. I think that a young man should make his own choice, and at least the school allows them to do that. But this particular subject leads me into the transfer portal in itself. Thoughts on the transfer portal? 4 or 5 years ago, there was no transfer portal, nor was there anybody opting out for the bowl game. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, they just played.
But the landscape of college athletics has changed because of the money. Thoughts on the transfer portal?
I don't have anything right or wrong to say about it either. I guess it's your decision. Having to sit out a year? Correct?
No. Transfer portal now is just if you want to go, you can go.
Just go.
You can go.
I'm cool with it.
I am too. Being black.
The reason I'm cool with it is because I saw a thing maybe 2 or 3 years ago where you did have to sit out a full year if you went FBS to FBS, correct?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A guy went to, I don't remember, just say Michigan. Mom got sick real bad, had cancer, wanted to transfer to Colorado and try to get a leave there and immediately play at Colorado so his mom could see him play, and he had to sit out a year. Things like that come into play to where you move back close to home because things might not have happened well or things like that. Now, there's other guys like Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma. Look, it just didn't work out. You weren't as good as you thought you were at Oklahoma. It's time to go somewhere else. And I don't fault a guy for trying to go play and obviously got his spot taken away. And you think of a guy like Jalen Hurts not too long ago, starting quarterback in Alabama, and here comes Tua and takes his job. And, at least he got to go and play. So, yeah, I think it's okay. Now there should be a limit to how many times you can transfer. I don't think you should play 4 different colleges 4 different years. I don't think that's fair.
Right. So you think you just get one transfer?
I think you get 2 schools. Who you sign the dotted line to and 1 transfer. That's it.
I know there's different rules and regulations, and people are transferring. The portal has become the way to recruit now. People are probably recruiting as hard on the transfer portal as they are trying to sign the new guys, simply because the guys who are in the transfer portal can play.
Right.
Yeah, you've already seen what they can do.
You know what they can do, right?
Absolutely.
And you go get you a guy that beat you by 2 or 3, just dominated a football game over against you last year. You say, hey, let's go see if this guy wants to play for us.
I never liked the transfer and have to sit out a year. Why? Because you punish a kid.
Yeah, you're punishing somebody for trying to better himself.
Yeah, I never did like that.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, I never did like it. I think kids could be, they ought to be able to go to school where they want to go to school, and you say, well, they're making a commitment, and the commitment's making the school's making a commitment to them. But let me assure you, these kids, talking about just like on opting out, these kids have made a tremendous investment in what they do.
That's exactly right.
For the school.
That brings millions of dollars into that school.
Absolutely.
You darn right.
And it really doesn't affect a team's ability to make money if somebody transfers.
No.
The one thing it does, it gives a kid an opportunity to go play somewhere, and that's what I think they all need to do. But
I agree.
Anyway, we got several other things that we want to talk about tonight. I want to get into one thing. I want to go back a little bit. We never talked about the Harding Academy Prescott game. I don't think we've been on the air and talked about that. Final thoughts on our high school football, and then we'll have Coach Hansley do his little report about our all-state and all-district guys. But final thoughts, Harding Academy winning it all again, Ben.
David, they just are leaps and bounds further along than anybody else, and I think it just showed that second half of the state championship game. As good as Prescott was and had been all year, and traditionally is. Harding just came out. They're just a monster, man. It's just a well-oiled machine, and they're clicking on all cylinders, and it looks like there's nothing going to be stopping them anytime soon.
Hayden?
Yeah, you talk about a halftime adjustment.
Yes, sir.
43 unanswered.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Oh. What do you say at halftime to get your boys to come out and score 43 and say, we're not going to give up another score, we're going to score 43?
Well, you don't ever know.
I need to know what was said.
I think you go in there and knowing Coach Evans the 2 times that we've spoken for a grand total of 5 minutes, and me seeing a video or 2 of him, I think he went in there and challenged his kids and said, guys, we're the best football team. We made a few mistakes here in the first half, but we're going to go to our bread and butter here in the second half. We're going to hand the football off. We're going to run the football. I think we need to get the football in the hands of Miller, the Miller kid, who was, obviously the best running back and probably the best receiver on the team, and said, look, we're going to ride that guy to a state championship. And I really think this. I really think the kids believe they're going to win a state championship. I think they believe that. And that's something that
5 in the last 10 years.
Yeah. I think those things can be taught, learned, if you're willing to come to practice every day, if you're willing to be in the weight room, if you're willing to play different sports, if you're willing to be dedicated to what you do, if you take care of your body and
It's work ethic.
It's work
And
ethic.
it's culture. It's a culture and it's a work ethic, and that can be installed, and that can be taught, and that can be, like you said, it can be contagious. And winning is contagious. You get something that works, and you get the kids buying in. Everybody wants to be a part of a winning program, and it just kind of, once it gets going, and it's hard to stop it.
Well, and when the younger kids see it, because they start working with those kids at a younger age,
Right.
but let me tell you what, it's just not their football program.
It's all, yeah.
I mean, it's basketball, it's softball,
They won
it's
that last-
baseball. Yeah,
They won basketball and baseball last year, too.
they sure did.
But
Yes,
they
sir.
won soccer, too.
Well, if they had soccer, they did. I don't know how they did tennis and golf.
They move up to 4A, though. And that's something that I've had discussions with other people. And, do they – I don't think that they
Who
have,
challenges them in 4A?
Well, Joe T. Robinson
Okay.
for 1. Shiloh Christian, which they move up to 5.
5A.
McGee moves up to 4A.
Okay.
Arkadelphia, Nashville,
Okay.
Warren.
Okay. They're all in one conference.
I just went and looked, and I'm not saying that Harding's not going to go on and win state next year. I'm not saying that, or they're never going to win it in 4A. But you go and look, and 2A, Junction City's been to like 8 of the last 10.
Right.
Or something like that. Harding's been to 5 of the last 10. Go look at 4A. Joe T's been 2. Arkadelphia's been 2. Mina's been. I mean, it's spread out all over the place.
I agree.
There's no powerhouse in 4A
Right.
football.
I agree.
It's who got hot at the right time. And I don't foresee in the next 10 years Harding, if staying in 4A, them winning 5 out of 10. I don't see it happening in 4A just because of how competitive it is across the board. And I think numbers become a factor then.
Okay.
Because you're talking about
Well, numbers are always
double.
a factor.
They'll have double the kids that Harding have enrolled. I mean, those 4A schools.
And it makes a difference. Obviously, even right now for Harding, the numbers are a factor because AAA says, look, even you're a private school, you don't have this many kids, whatever. We're going to look at your numbers, and then we're going to place you because you're a private school competing in public school league or whatever. However they
Or how well they've done in state championships over the course of the last several years.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. So
Yeah.
numbers are still a factor, but I see what you're saying. The numbers will not play in their favor as much as they.
Negative. You can look at 3A and you can say, all right, there's 6 contenders.
Mm-hmm.
There's maybe 8. 8 contenders who could win a state title this year. Here's the 8. You look at 4A and there's probably 15.
I would agree with that, totally.
You know, and that's every single
Any
year.
given Friday night, they could be the team that's
You
the
can,
best.
yes, you can just look at the difference and not knocking on 3A because there's some good football teams.
Right.
But the top of the 3A is the top. I mean,
Yeah,
your
there's
Harding,
no
your
doubt.
Prescott, you McGee, those are the top tiers. Those are the guys you got to knock off, and they just hadn't been the teams that been knocked off. 4A, those guys get knocked off and get bounced around year in, year out just because of the classification and the enrollment in schools. And Harding's got a good chance to win their conference. I'm not saying that they're not going to be competitive.
I understand.
But I would be highly, highly shocked if they win next year, or if they might win 2 of the next 10 in 4A if they stay in 4A.
Which is still saying something.
Still a great program, but
Yeah.
you won't see the level of dominance in this 4A that they did in 3A. I don't think anyway.
Talked to the young man that that made the interception against us, and talked with his dad, and made the interception when he spiked the ball in the end zone. You know, he intercepted 2. The first one he got tackled at the 1-yard line, and the next one he spiked. And his dad was telling me the other night, he said, I loved how you guys said we loved it, you know,
We didn't love it.
well, we loved his enthusiasm. We loved his
We understood
the enthusiasm.
Yes.
There you go. We understood the enthusiasm.
Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
We did not like that interception.
Well, to watch a kid in high school football that's probably never ever done that before, to intercept a pass and get in the end zone, and it was so uncharacteristic of anybody ever played for Harding. It was so uncharacteristic of that kid. And I met him the other night. I was visiting with his dad, and Shane Wallace, and he brought him down and introduced him to me. And I said, "You ever made an interception before?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "You ever spiked the ball in the end zone?" He said, "Yes, sir." And he thought maybe I was going to get on him. I just give him some nucks. And I said, it's just enthusiastically, getting something done, and not right to do that. And things happen on the sideline. We'll talk a little bit about the pro game last night when we talk about things happening on the sideline. But you mentioned something, I thought, boy, that makes me think of something else, but now I've already forgotten it. But anyway, Coach Hasley's report when he talked about several weeks ago his All-State and All-Conference selection, the Sports Unleashed Bank of England intro coming right up, and then the interview with Coach Hasley. Well, we welcome Coach Mark Hinsley, the head football coach and athletic director of the Newport Greyhounds, to the program tonight. We pre-recorded this in the afternoon, and Coach, welcome back. Coach Mark Hinsley, the head football coach and athletic director of the Newport Greyhounds, to the program tonight. We pre-recorded this in the afternoon, and Coach, welcome back. Football is over, and we got a few things we want to talk about today. Welcome back.
It is, thank you. Yeah, we always talk about it. It's hard to put that equipment up, but after you have a good year like we did, it's good to see some of these kids get some recognition.
Well, that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the kids who earned some end-of-season honors, and it's always awesome to get to see a large number of kids that are recognized by their conference. And like this year, Newport's usually have a bunch of guys to talk about, and we do. Let's get right after it.
The All-State, Jadarius Reed and Antoine Hardaway, and of those two guys, I can't tell how many times we talked about those guys, and in the year leading up to this is Jadarius Reed was pretty much our go-to guy this year. I mean, if the defense was called, he's the one that kind of made it right. Antoine the same way, and what those two guys also did on both sides of the ball, special teams, leadership. I mean, those two guys are very deserving.
And sometimes, Coach, when you're not passing out these honors. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got a whole conference that gets together and decides, voting wise, how many you're going to get.
And a lot of teams don't get any.
That's correct.
To be what we get is really, really, really fortunate. So.
And I know that you get in there and fight for your kids for
Mm-hmm.
all of these positions. And in all fairness, not everybody can make All-State. Not
Right.
everybody can make All-Conference. Not everybody can make Honorable Mention All-Conference. It's just sometimes.
Well, and that's true, because you sit there and you go, well, we get six. We get six
Right.
picks, and Harding's in there with us. So, they get quite a few picks. And so, to get two, and last year we got two, and I was surprised to get two last year because I think Harding got four of those two. So, to get the two guys that we got, that really is an honor. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, no doubt. And got some other all-conference players and also an all-star nominee in Eli Alcorn.
We do. And I was going to go through there and talk about the All-State Honorable Mention. You've got the second-team players pretty much. We always say
Right.
second team or Honorable Mention is Eli Alcorn, Brady Cook, and Brendan Curry. And I can't say enough about those three guys, mainly because of what Eli Alcorn's been through, and to still come back and do what he did and help our team. Still a team captain. Brady Cook, another team captain, played both sides of the ball all year. Really come through offensive line, defensive line for us. And then Brendan Curry was all over the place. I mean, you're talking about defense. That kid, I think, had 6 or 7 picks. Led the team, top 3 in tackles. I mean, played on both sides of the ball and really showed out. And then, of course, like you just said, we had 3 All-Star nominees. And then somebody asked me, well, how do those guys get picked? Well, whoever the coach gets picked has a list, and those are the guys that are on his list.
Right.
And that's Jadarius Reed, Antoine Hardaway, and Eli Alcorn.
Right. Well, I mean, it's always an honor to get picked there, but I mean, also, you have all-conference players and then some all-conference honorable mention players. Let's talk about those guys.
And Jadarius Reed, Antoine Hardaway, because of their All-State picks, Eli Alcorn, Brady Cook, Brendan Curry, the second-team guys from All-State. And then you had Kylan Cright, Abel Robinson, C.J. Young, Jeremiah Godare, which I was proud to see, and then Isaiah Kendall.
Well, I mean, these are some guys that, you say, well, I think a lot of those guys might have been an All-Stater too. Well, we totally agree with that.
I totally agree.
Agree.
I totally agree. Because when you look at Kylan Cright, I mean, that's a
a
guy
year.
that was stat-loaded from top to bottom.
Yes.
And it was a mismatch everywhere he goes. Abel Robinson, the few games that we didn't have Abel, he's not there. I mean, you can tell when you get off the bus that your game's going to be a little different when you don't have your big guy there.
He's a difference maker.
And then C.J. Young. C.J. was there every step of the way with me on both sides of the football. Jeremiah Godare. You didn't realize how many sneaky stats that he'd come up with this year, whether it was sacks, deflections, hurried passes. I mean, tackles. He's in the top 5 in tackles. And then Isaiah Kendall just doing what Isaiah does.
Absolutely.
And shout out to him. He got another offer today. Pitt,
University of Pittsburgh.
University of Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's going to be a highly recruited player, and what a great kid he is, too. Right. And all-conference honorable mention, Coach.
Yeah, Caden Johnson. I thought what Caden come in and did this year at receiver was well-deserved. Will Keedy, and I've talked about Will Keedy in depth. Just because of what he did, being undersized at that center position, taking on some of the biggest zero techniques that we've seen to be so gritty and do what he does. Dylan Braxton coming in and doing what he did quarterbacking. Jamero Ballantyne has not got enough credit, and that's probably my fault, but Jamero Ballantyne is one of the better running backs that we've had in a long time. So he got that recognition. Tristan Griffin, Jaden Godare, Jacob Ozier, and Josh Drennan. And I could talk about all those guys in depth, but what Jaden Godare come in and did at defensive end this year, and I'll say this about the kid. I told him last year, he's like, what do I need to do in the offseason to get better? I said, son, you got to get bigger. You got to get stronger. Well, he took that to heart. He started eating protein bars and lifting, and he got to where he was. So the recognition he got is very well deserved. Then you talk about Jacob Ozier, kind of what he did on the offensive line across from Brady Cook, and then Josh Drennan. Josh come in playing corner this year, and in the spring I would have told you I don't know if he can do it or not. He's little. But that kid worked his butt off, and he become one of the better corners in this conference.
Coach, we got a lot of these kids that you mentioned right here are coming back for next year for another
That's right.
round, and you and I we'll talk momentarily about the year in review. A 6-5 year, and then you look up and you say, well, 3 of those 5 losses were for the 2 teams that just played Saturday down at War Memorial Stadium for a state championship,
That's right.
Prescott and Harding. So, I mean, overall,
Yeah.
in losing the 3 games that we've talked about before, you lose the Heber Springs game, you lose your 2 conference games, which were all very winnable, not just very winnable, but we're going to win those games.
That's right.
And we lose those 3.
And we do. And, in the Heber Springs game come at the very worst time.
Yes.
Because we had come off of the Prescott game, and I've told you this, whether it's football or baseball. Me and you have talked about this. When you come off of a game like your Prescott game, there's lessons in losses. I've always said that. We had all kinds of lessons that we learned from Prescott, being our first game with a new quarterback, first game in a new defensive system. I mean, we had all these things that I could make excuses for. Well, after you lose that game, you need a game to lick your wounds
quickly.
To figure out what you did, why you're going to get better, and you need that win to springboard you to the next week. Well, when you get told you can't have that game, you're not getting to play, then you have to think about that Prescott loss that whole week. The kids think about that whole week, and it really was detrimental to our whole start of our season, and we really need that Heber game. So of all the 3 games that you're talking about, we kind of knew those non-conference games wouldn't happen. Would we get them scheduled? Would we not get them scheduled? The loss of that Heber game really hurt.
Here's what we think we know pretty well or what we don't know. What we know is what we don't know.
That's right.
About what's going to happen next year. Just kind of explain that situation, and we're kind of in no man's land as we speak.
If it's any indication of how the volleyball deal worked out, as soon as their season was over, that last state championship happened, you started getting an email about the conference, how it was going to align, and we're hoping that's the same setup now. Our football conferences now, our states are now all over. Last state championship was last night. So we would think this week we would start kind of seeing or hearing or sniffing at this is what your conference is going to be now. But we still don't know, and they could. We've always heard that we're right here on 67, and that's their divider point. Sometimes like 40 is their divider point, and so we're always in that. They can go west, they can go east. So we really don't know where we're going. Nobody's more eager to know that than me because we still got games to schedule. But man, I'm hoping it's this week.
And we're not sure on non-conference either. I mean, we haven't talked to those folks.
Bauxite for sure. They've made it very clear that they want to go try to find another non-conference game. Prescott in week 0 was just a filler game for a year, and I made that very clear to them.
Sure.
And then once again, you got Heber and Lone Oak that we've kind of got to go back to the drawing board and see if they still want to continue doing that because we're at the end of our 2-year contract. So a lot of things have to be decided, but that conference schedule is really important to know.
Well, looking forward to it. Real quickly, kind of, what's the plan? I know, as far as from now through, I guess this week is all we've got. And what's the plan looking forward when you get started back in the new year, and what all we're going to try to figure out coming up?
We did a lot of fundamental learning things, how to certain lifts we want to do, how we want to do them, very technical sound stuff. And then we went into maxes, and we did maxes last week, and then this week is mainly exemption week for semester tests. So we're not going to do a whole lot this week. January 3rd, we come back and we're going full bore. I mean, we're going to start our conditioning phase and our workouts, and then we're going to lead into the strengthening phase, and then really hit it really hard. And we'll start football probably once a week, probably after spring break, and then that'll kind of lead into. And we'll let baseball kind of do their thing, let them have all that, and try to go to state during that. And then after baseball's over, we start spring football, and it starts again.
There you go. I'm looking forward to it again. My friend.
It's and that's what people don't realize is it's a full-time job.
It is, isn't it?
We tell the seniors, good job. You had a great year. We're so proud of you. All right, here's the new seniors. And I even treat them like that. The juniors will be called seniors.
They're seniors
January
now.
3rd. They really were. And it's kind of confusing to them. They're like, well, we're not a senior. In my mind, you're a senior. We're going to treat you like a senior because that day's going to come when you are a senior and you're going to feel it. So, January 3rd, we've got new seniors.
Well, when you turn that roster in whenever you turn in, it's going to have senior by it.
That's right. So I start thinking that way.
Congratulations to all the folks who received all-state, all-conference honors and all-star nominees. Our Greyhounds are well represented, and as always, Coach, I appreciate you being with us and taking time to join us, and we just want everybody to know, as always, go Hounds.
Markers is good. Here we go. We're on.
Well, sometimes you get caught talking and don't know what's happening, but anyway. Golly gee. Hayden Schultz, Ben Black, Sports Unleashed, and the program is brought to you by Delta Manufacturing Company, 50 years in business, and 7901 Victory Boulevard. The East family, Dale and Mary, Amy and Todd Norris, and building trailers for all throughout North America, and we appreciate them helping with Sports Unleashed and our Total Sports program, being on our sports package with us. But thank you, Delta Trailer Manufacturing. The program also brought to you in part by Unity Health Newport. We got the Unity Health Newport and the Subway Coaches Report coming up, or the Subway Coach Report after the Harding game. That's the last game that we have available for that. But El Puente Mexican Restaurant, if you're looking for the best Mexican food in the world, it's El Puente. They, along with Fathead Pizza, one word, all caps, we just made the decision that we're going to start going back to one of those two places and maybe places throughout the city of Newport and start doing the sports show here in the next coming weeks. We'll alternate between Fathead Pizza and or El Puente Restaurant and kind of excited about getting back to those places, Ben.
Yeah, well, COVID hit when we first got started doing that. We've been doing it for, I guess, less than a year, probably 8-9 months, and we like doing it. And I think everybody, it was good for everybody. We got to see a lot of folks out while we were doing the sports show and visit with folks. So we're excited about getting back out there and getting in the community and getting to see some of those folks.
Farmers Tire Mart, where the rubber meets the road. And if you're looking for tires for your car, your truck, your tractor, your trailer, your ATVs, lawnmowers, much, much more, give them a call at 523-6735 or check them out on Facebook at Farmers Tire Mart or on the web at farmerstiremart.com. White River Health System has the care you need 7 days a week. See Dr. Randall Hunt, Dr. Nicole Lawson, APN Marlo Hargrave for primary care needs at the Newport Diagnostic Medical Clinic, 870-512-2500 for one appointment. And I guess we could do that now, Ben. We'll go to the basketball. Unity Health Player of the Game and the Subway Coaches Report in the ball game against Harding Academy a couple of weeks ago. Okay, Kylan Cried is our Unity Health Player of the Game. Kylan, you up and down the court all night long, and it just wasn't the Greyhounds' night, but a tremendous effort on your part individually, doing the very best that you can on the glass, shooting shots, playing defense. Talk about the game a little bit. I mean, it was a tough battle out there.
Oh yes, sir. I just tried to put up enough points so that we can stay ahead of them. Just trying to help the team, take the victory. Where we fell short tonight. We didn't give up though. Just couldn't hit a lot of shots. Stuff wasn't going all right way and stuff. A couple calls, but yeah.
Our basketball team takes our defense and turns it into offense, and tonight it was not as good as what we normally can do, but you got to give Harding a lot of credit.
Oh yes, sir. They, I guess they did their thing that they always do, I guess. But yeah.
Hey, listen, awesome effort. Unity Health Player of the Game, Kylan Cried. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll have Coach coming up in just a second. LeVar Neal joins us, and Coach, again, we talked to you after the Ball Knob game, and stepped in again tonight as, to being the head man. You're sweating. You were won a big junior high game, but we couldn't get it done in senior high. Talk a little bit about our kids' effort.
They played great tonight. Honestly, man, the effort was there. Again, just not executing on offense as we would like. I loved how they competed as well on the defense. We're still growing as far as talking and just getting our systems in as far as what Coach Ty has given us to work with. But again, hard-fought game against a tough Harding Academy team. Again, I think we're really going to get into our stride after the Christmas break and just getting in the gym some more. But we have a lot to work with and to work on. But I can't say enough about our guys tonight. They definitely competed hard for us. So. Well,
and that's the only thing you can ask them to do. And you've got guys that just came off the football field. They had a couple of guys that just came off the football field too. But we're not in our football players are not in basketball shape yet, and it'll take till after the first year.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And that's the thing about being a big-time football school. We look to play into the third round. Hey, even even getting to Little Rock every year. So when our guys come over, man, we're head first in the conference season. So like I said, Coach Dye's done a great job as far as getting our guys who are in off season, and then as well getting our guys that came over from football where we needed to be. Again, we're there defensively. I feel like just offensively, we can't put enough points on the board right now to really finish it out. But again, I want to say, man, we had a great week of practice. We missed our leader, Coach Ty. Man, man, we thought about him all week, and we wanted to kind of get that W for him. But I know he watched tonight. I just want to let him know, man, everything we did this week was for you, buddy. We can't wait to get back with us. So
I'll let you get with your team, Coach. Thank you very much. And that is the Subway inside the Newport Walmart coaches report and Coach LeVar Neal.
Birthdays this week on Sports Unleashed, Two Chicks, Florist, and more. We want to say happy birthday today on Monday the 27th to Tanya Day Greer. She has a birthday today, as does Michael Long from Tuckerman, Melissa Smedley with a birthday, Gloria Holden and Mickey Ryan both with birthdays today on Monday. And then on Tuesday, Brandy Keaty has a birthday, as does Nikki Nicholson. Also, Ted Hall, Terry Watson, Ronnie Burris, all with birthdays on Tuesday. And then on Wednesdays, the birthdays include Jermaine Bryant, Tony Madden. Thursday, R.J. Rucker with a birthday. Also, Julius Pruitt with a birthday on Thursday. Chad or Cheryl Odell has a birthday on Thursday. Tony Phillips has a birthday, and Alan Ball also has a birthday on Thursday. On Friday, Randy Myers with a birthday, and then a heavenly happy birthday to Mr. Carlin James with a birthday on Friday. Saturday, Chris Sharp, watching from either Northwest Arkansas or from Newport, Arkansas, with a birthday. Mitch Bowen also has a birthday on on Saturday, and Elizabeth Lacey Duran has a birthday Saturday as well. On Sunday, the birthdays, if I were to say Vincent, you'd say, well, that's Vincent Burton, and Vincent Burton does have a birthday this coming Sunday, as does Mark Benish, Heather or Nancy George with a birthday on this Sunday, Henry Turner, Tammy Golden, Big Dan Larson with a birthday this Sunday, Larry Stapleton, and Jay Kimbrough from over in Houston, Mississippi. We want to wish everybody a happy birthday from Two Chicks, Florist, and More, and Cable 15 TV, and a Happy New Year to everyone. Well, we're just about finished with the sports show, but I did want to get into one more subject that is kind of interesting, and that is the potential contract of the football coach at the University of Arkansas, Sam Pittman. And Coach Pittman, just a month or so ago, a couple of months ago, changed agents and hired Jimmy Sexton, who's a high-powered agent who represents Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin and a lot of the other SEC coaches. And your thoughts on Sam Pittman asking for a raise and changing agents, and him getting the agent to ask for him?
Give him the money.
Absolutely.
Not because he went 8-4 this year. I mean, for other reasons. This is his dream job. He wants to be here. And as Razorback fans, you got to take your lumps, because this year we might only win 5 games this coming year. We only might win 5 games. That's just the nature of being in the SEC. Don't run off a guy that wants to be here, and you know he's going to recruit and do his absolute best. He's going to give everything he's got for the state. I think you lock the dude up, because yes, there are going to be some 5-win seasons with him, and that's just the reality of it. But there might be a 10-1 year, might be you might get a chance for an SEC title game, and that's all you really want. So I think you pay the man. Just pay him what he wants.
I agree 100%. Just fork over the money, get the pencil sharp, and write the check.
Because it's been a lot worse recently.
My thought has been this, and this is what I say, and I agree with what both of you are saying. If you would have looked at this thing 2 years ago, or even a year ago, and said, we're going to bring a coach in here, and he's going to get us to a January 1st bowl game.
8-4.
Going to win 8 ball games playing the SEC.
Would you pay him that much?
It's going to be Nick Saban or whoever.
Toughest schedule in
Toughest schedule in America, and go 8-4 and say, what would you pay the best guy in America to come? And you'd say,
whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants. I'd pay him whatever. I want the best. And you know what we did? We got the best coach we could get in the United States of America. So pay the man what he's due.
I agree.
Can't be too much. That's all I have to say about that.
As Forrest Gump says.
And final thoughts, guys. Ben Black.
Hey, just glad to be back and looking forward to getting out in the community. Like we said, going to get to go out and shoot the sports show on location at several different locations. So,
Hayden Schultz.
Have fun next Monday, boys. I won't be here.
That is correct. Hayden will be on a non-sports related trip. But we certainly wish you and your lovely bride.
I might have to enter the portal for a week.
You may have to see if you got any better offers.
I'm going to go explore for a little bit.
But before we go away, I want to remind everybody about the customized intro. I look back, and this is a recap of the 2021 basketball year and what a great year we had last year. Hope to have a repeat of that this year. But this is just a little deal that I did last year at the end of the year and talked about the great year that we had in basketball. So a customized look back coming right up. Exciting night for the Newport Greyhound basketball team last night at Clinton, winning the basketball game 62-51 and giving the Greyhounds the 2-3A conference championship. And it's the first time that the Newport Greyhound basketball team has won a conference championship, or a district championship as we say, since 1981, 40 years ago. Our big congratulations from Cable 15 TV and all the Greyhound fans throughout the nation. We thank all those folks who watched our ball game last night on Facebook Live and all the folks that commented, literally in the thousands of folks. But the congratulations always goes to the kids. And talking a little bit about that 62-51 win over Clinton, it was a guaranteed number one seed for us. Clinton still has a couple of ball games left. It wasn't a guarantee for them, but it was a huge basketball game for both of us, to say the least. And the Hounds come away with that 62-51 victory. Number one seed in the district tournament. And kind of let me explain that. The district tournament usually is held at one site, and everybody comes there and plays. And this year, because of the pandemic and the COVID-19 restrictions, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like the high school playoffs. So if you're the higher seed, you will be the home team in the district tournament. Newport, being the number one seed, gets to be the home team in any game that they play. Winning the district not only gives you the number one seed in all home games, it also gives you a guaranteed spot in the regional. So I know years ago it used to be district tournament when we were in the higher classifications. You win the district, then you went to the state. Well, now you win the district or finish second in the district. Top 4 teams go to a regional. The regional will be held at Manila this year, and then the top groups out of that will go on to the state at Clinton. I want to talk a little bit about the game. We talk about the Unity player of the game and the Subway coaches report. Didn't get an opportunity on the road. They don't allow us to do that because the kids, the basketball kids, have to go directly to the dressing room. But Chris Reynolds with 19 big points, and he has just been sensational throughout the course of the whole year. And it's amazing how the other kids try to get Chris involved in the offense. He got 6'7", and he just does a great job on the low block. And Jarius Dean, who's been a 3-year starter and a great leader, and no doubt one of the best basketball players that's been around here in a long while. And he gets 9 last night. Isaiah Kendall has unlimited potential. Great shot blocker. He can dunk the basketball. Tremendous defender. He's a player all over the court. And then last night, Omar King, who's a starter, he got 4 points for us. Theron Davis got 3 off the bench. But I want to talk about a couple of guys right here that maybe they don't get as much recognition as what they probably should. But Jerry Woods is simply outstanding on the defensive end. He gets to guard the toughest shooter all night long, and he plays defense as well as any high school basketball player that I have ever seen. So we don't win that basketball game last night without Jerry Woods playing the defense that he did. And we played defense tremendously well last night also, but Jerry was he was absolutely exceptional and also contributed 7 points. But I thought the big play last night, and I really thought the player of the game, was Malachi Gates, who came off the bench. Malachi doesn't get a lot of minutes, but let me tell you what he did last night. He came in, and as soon as he got the basketball, he dribbled the ball to his left. He made a spin move back to his right. He went to the glass. He made a reverse layup, and things looked good for Malachi. Tremendous defense, hit a three-pointer, got 7 points on the night. Malachi Gates was a tremendous asset coming off the bench last night for the Newport Greyhounds. Congratulations to you guys, conference champs for the first time since 1981. We're looking forward to the regional. We're looking forward to the state tournament. Big things happening for the Newport Greyhounds. Congratulations, guys.